Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing one of the most fun Pokemon from the Season 23 update, and that is Scizor. Scizor is an incredibly high-risk, high-reward Pokemon. This Pokemon will go as far as your energy management will take it. It is absurdly frail, but its moveset is unbelievable. Bullet Punch now does way more damage compared to last season, and Night Slash and Trail Blaze are terrific charge moves. I paired it up with Blastoise and Galarian Corsola and went on a great run with the team. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and let's go Scizor. Bit of an interesting lead in game number 1, leading into Drifblim, but the Drifblim switches out into a Drapion, and look at the Bullet Punches. Oh my goodness. Bullet Punch now with this extra damage is just erasing this Drapion from the field. Both moves are resisted, so I may as well get a boost. I'm going for the Trail Blaze. These Bullet Punches now hurting that Drapion even more, and I'm going to exit this matchup boosted, almost at full health, and with a ton of energy. Let's see, what are they going to send in here? They can't really afford to send in the Drifblim. They're just going to send in Galarian Moltres. Moltres, not going to be a big fan of these boosted Night Slashes. Night Slash is going to land. I get to another boosted Night Slash, and they're going to have to shield this unless they want to just let the Moltres go. They're going to shield here. I actually should have simul KO'd there, but I mistapped. I didn't correctly hit my screen, so I missed a Bullet Punch, but we would have actually simultaneously KO'd there. Either way, we're in a pretty nice spot. We now find out why they actually switched out, because they were a Hex Drifblim, which is better pacing, but not a lot of fast move pressure. Shadow Ball, huge damage into the Corsola. Moltres is going to get the farm down, but this is the non-Shadow Blastoise, which means I can survive a Brave Bird. So Brave Bird comes through, Blastoise hangs on, and that's going to be a Game 1 win. Shadow Scizor into Dedenne in the next match. Now, Dedenne will have a pacing advantage here as they get to Parabolic every 10 turns, and I have to go up to 14 turns for my Trail Blaze. So I'm going to farm up quite a bit and look to pick up the knockout with the Trail Blaze. Even these neutral Bullet Punches are just deleting Dedenne. I exit the matchup boosted. I'm still decently healthy, over half HP. What are they going to send in? They bring in Samurott, and this is not an answer whatsoever. I'm going to bait with the Night Slash. That's going to guarantee the shield, and here I'm going to switch into Blastoise. I'm more than happy to just use Blastoise as a damage sponge. I know Mega Horn is going to hurt. It's a cracked move. Mega Horn rocks the Blastoise. Blastoise barely hangs on. They bring in Diggersby, and I'm so grateful that they brought in Diggersby here, because if they just stayed in and didn't bring in the Diggersby, my Corsola was cooked. But they're saving the Samurott, and that's going to win me the game. Now I get to bring back in Shadow Scizor, over farming and playing to the CMP tie with the Trail Blaze. Trail Blaze into the Diggersby is going to pick up the KO. In comes Samurott, and now I get to respond with Galarian Corsola. I did get a really good Galarian Corsola in a trade, but I still don't have enough XLs for it. So unfortunately, we're still using the really bad Galarian Corsola. As you can see there, it's atrocious IVs, but I will still be able to take the win. We move to the next game. Shadow Scizor is staring down Dusclops. Even though Night Slash hits for super effective, I'm at a pacing disadvantage, so I'd rather get a catch and sneak onto the Blastoise. Shadow Scizor, if you're ever able to get it up energy, it can be really, really terrifying. Obviously, switching out is a bit risky, considering if they have a fire type in the back, Scizor is going to get deleted, but I'm making a calculated gamble that they do not have one. Instead, they're going to bring a Fortress into the Blastoise. It's the Shadow Fortress. And this energy lead that I have on the Blastoise is really, really nice, as I'll get to fire off another Hydro, force the shield, try and get to one more. I can't get there. There's a little bit of a game stutter there. I don't know if that was a frame drop. I haven't seen a frame drop in ages. Either way, it didn't look like I was getting the Hydro, so I don't think it impacted the game, but obviously not ideal to see. Sand Tomb is going to land. They're going to pivot into the Dusclops, and I'm very okay with this. I get to do big damage with Nightshade. Nightshade is going to be shielded, and there's the combo play with the Shadow Scizor. Shadow Scizor hits very hard. Dusclops is very bulky. That's a 1 HP survive from the Dusclops, but I'm very happy to shield up the Scizor. So now I get to see what they have in the back. In the back, they have Golisopod. I'm up a shield and up energy, so I can very comfortably win the game with Scizor. Night Slash is going to land. We get the 2-stage attack boost. Shadow Scizor, if it didn't hit hard enough, is now 2 stages boosted. There's the Aqua Jet. Fortress gets Bullet Punch down. We exit with a boosted Night Slash, and this Pokemon is just so much fun. I was worried about how frail it is, but it just comes down to energy management. We move to the next match, and we've got the battle of the steel types, Matang versus Scizor. It looks like the opponent actually CMP-tied here with the Psyshock, correctly assuming that as the Scizor player, I'm just spamming out Night Slashes as soon as I can get them. I'm more than happy to shield, knowing that I'll always win the 2s here. I'm just going to keep farming. Matang is going to switch out, sending in Diggersby, and I'm very okay with this because I'll get to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze, big damage into the Diggersby. I'm going to overfarm here, switch into the Blastoise, and get the catch. This team is technically ABA weak to Diggersby, but realistically, I think leading into Diggersby would be very fine for the Scizor, because Scizor can throw Trailblaze at first, boost up, and then in the 2s, look to catch out onto the Blastoise. Even if the catch is unsuccessful, if you're able to get energy on Scizor later on, Scizor is obviously going to win cap over Diggersby. So I'm able to pick up the knockout onto the Diggersby with the Blastoise, and the important thing for me was I wanted to leave with a move, because I knew Matang was very close to a Psyshock, so now I get to fire off the Hydro. Matang will end up committing the shield. Matang, very nice energy management, not letting me get that Hydro Cannon. But for Matang, they're going to be in for a rude awakening because it's not the Scizor that I bring in, but it's the Galarian Corsola. And Galarian Corsola is going to be very okay farming down. Shadow Psyshock, big damage onto Corsola. In the back is Feraligatr, and I'm in a great spot here. I'll get to do some solid chip damage with the Nightshade and then send in Scizor. I honestly don't know if a Trailblaze would one-shot the Gator from full. It's the regular Gator, so I assume it would not. So to play safe, I end up just going for the Nightshade Trailblaze combo, and we take the win. Terrible lead in the next match. Scizor is staring down Typhlosion. One Bullet Punch and a switch. Blastoise is going to be answered with Furret. Furret, definitely something that I had to bait out here, because obviously Furret would do very, very well into the Corsola. Blastoise can always win the Zero Shield, so I'm very okay just letting this go. They'll exit boosted thanks to the Trailblaze, but the important thing for me is I get a shield advantage. My health on the Scizor I don't think is particularly important here, just because there's a Typhlosion. I'm going to bring back in the Scizor. Opponent, oh, they overfarmed too much. They forgot that I did one Bullet Punch before switching, so I can actually cap tie them here and just knock them out. Back in comes Typhlosion, one Bullet Punch and the switch into the Corsola. They have enough for the Blast Burn, and I am forced to respect it. They do go for the Blast Burn, so that ends up being a good shield. In the back is going to be an Acid Credilli. The switch timers are misaligned, and that's going to be what I think will win me this game. The Nightshade is going to land. Opponent not quite having the same pacing as they used to with Acid compared to the old Bullet Seed. Rock Tomb is going to connect, and here, to burn the switch clock, I have to throw the debuff Nightshade. But I think this will perfectly put them into double Bullet Punch farm down range. They don't get their move, and in comes Typhlosion. Typhlosion going to be hit now with the Night Slash. Night Slash is going to be shielded. I got KO'd. Corsola. Oh no! The Bad Ivy Corsola sells the game. Oh man, if I had a better Corsola, I can survive that and win. But unfortunately, I do not, so I don't. We move to the next match. Scizor into Dedenne. They save switch into Jellicent. Jellicent shields, and I get the boost. Jellicent is actually surprisingly solid into Scizor because the Night Slash does not KO. But now that I'm boosted, things are about to get really unfun. This Jellicent is already below half HP purely off of resisted bullet punches, and I boost again. Shadow Scizor, now 4 stages boosted. Oh no. I just barely cannot bullet punch down this Jellicent from full, so I am going to be firing off the Night Slash to pick up the KO. In comes Samurott, and Samurott's just going to get one shot here. This is a neutral Night Slash, but it just fully KOs. In comes the Dedenne, and Scizor KO'd 2.5 Pokemon by itself. My goodness, Scizor. Don't do it to him. My goodness. They're going to be able to boost up their defense with Parabolic Charge. But unfortunately, Shadow Scizor just pressed the auto win button for me. So Scizor just completely took over that game. Dreamly in the next match, Scizor is staring down Credilli. Opponent get a safe switch into Dedenne, and I am going to make a nice switch out and a catch. I played against a Dedenne save switch earlier, which I think these battles are out of order, so we might see that battle later on. But there was a Dedenne save switch that I stayed in, and then it ended up not going too well for me in the end game because my Scizor got too low. So this time I'm making a bit of an adjustment. I send in the Corsola. Corsola, we actually see a shield from my opponent, and I'm just going to let this go. Because I already have a bunch of energy on the Scizor, I may as well get even more. I'm not expecting them to have a fire type in the back. If they do, obviously, I'm going to be in trouble, but they send out a Lantern, and that's not what I was expecting to see. But Lantern's not going to have a great day here, as I'm now 1 stage boosted. This means I can probably even threaten with a Night Slash. The Night Slash into the Lantern. We get the boost again! Scizor, oh my goodness. Scizor is just an absolute demon. I don't know how many boosts I got today, but it was so many. I'm now going to fire off the Night Slash to catch onto Credilli, and we get 1 more boost. We just bullet punch down, and Scizor is just ending lives. This is a quad boosted Night Slash, massive overkill, game over. Shadow Scizor into Galarian Moltres. Oh, this is the game that I was talking about. So I did get them slightly out of order in the editor, but this is the game that I was talking about where they save switch into Dedenne. I think seeing these games back to back, there's a lot of value in it because you can see a line that I tried that worked and a line that I tried that didn't work. In this instance, staying in with the Scizor, Dedenne is going to play out the 2 shield here. Now, I will be able to get a farm down with the Scizor, but I've lost 3/4 of my health, which means if I need Scizor later, Scizor's not really going to be around. In comes Moltres. Here, I should have actually gone for the Trailblaze because I can actually make a Trailblaze into a Night Slash, but I wasn't aware of that at the moment because obviously I had not played a lot of Scizor before. I'll fire off the Night Slash. I'm doing a ton of damage so far, but in the back, there's going to be a Pokemon that I really don't want to see with this duo. They go for the fly. I can tank that no problem, but it's more Pekko in the back. This would have been a very, very straightforward game for me if I had just brought the Corsola into Dedenne. So if you see the Dedenne save switch, I think that's going to be the play pattern to go for. Because that way, you end up saving the Scizor if you need it, and I really needed the Scizor right here. As they're going to go for Psychic Fangs into a Dark Aura Wheel, that's going to pick up the knockout, and with really good energy management, they get the Psychic Fangs on the charge attack priority, and they're able to deny my move. So, a well-played game from my opponent. Their ABB line worked as intended. For future games, I would just throw 5 bullet punches and then switch Corsola into the safe switch Dedenne. We've got the Battle of Steel types, Shadow Scizor staring down a Forretress. This matchup is honestly more comfortable for the Forretress than the Scizor, but if we just get the attack boost, then suddenly it isn't. I didn't even do that many games with this team. I think I did like 10 games total maybe, and I think I got like 10 boosts. Like, Shadow Scizor was just absolutely going off. Here, I'm going for a Trailblaze, knowing they have to shield, because now I can lock in the fact that my attack is +3. So, whatever gets brought in here is going to have to shield the Night Slash. The Night Slash is going to do too much. They bring in Credilli. No! Credilli can't acid down. They're forced to switch in the Dusclops. Dusclops would have been hit with a Night Slash no matter what. They're forced to shield, and I just got so much value into that Credilli. That is really unfortunate, but the thing is, if they brought in the Dusclops would have had to shield anyway. I think bringing in the Dusclops was definitely still the better play, but considering I had a +3 Shadow Scizor, bullet punches would have hit very hard onto either of their remaining Pokemon. Nightshade, big damage into the Dusclops. That's going to get Corsola low. In comes Credilli, and I know they can't acid down, so I just stay in. They're forced to fire off the Rock Tomb, and then I can bring in the Blastoise. Blastoise does not get one turn bring in. We actually get our fast moves, and we're able to win the CMP tie over Credilli. The game worked. You love to see it. Dusclops, that's getting rollouted down, and Blastoise just still so good in this season. Hopping into the final match, picking up a pretty nice lead, Shadow Scizor into Gligar. Gligar will strike first with an Aerial Ace. I'm more than happy to commit the shield, and I'm just going to go for the Trailblaze. We know how deadly Scizor is with a Night Slash boost, so the fact that it can boost itself with Trailblaze guaranteed is just ridiculous. They're going to no shield. They safe switch into the Jellicent. I counter switch the Corsola, but here I make a huge error. I switch slightly too late, and in doing so, I don't actually sneak through an Astonish. And missing that Astonish actually does come back to bite me here in this game. I get to fire off the Nightshade. Nightshade is going to force a shield from my opponent, but had one more Astonish landed, maybe there's a chance that I can fast move this down. But now I can't fast move this down, so I'm forced to bring in the Blastoise here. I'm just going to go for the Hydro, and they catch on the Gligar. I'm just getting outplayed. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting severely outplayed in this game. That's a brilliant catch from my opponent. In the back is going to be a Purified Matang. Matang going to get smacked with a Hydro Cannon. I've only ever played against the Shadow so far. Looks like the regular can survive 2 Hydros, but not super well. These rollouts are slowly adding up as now they're below half health. Hydro is going to land, It's a charge attack priority time. Let's see the damage here. They go for the return. It does not KO. In comes Scizor, and I can't bullet punch down. That was my only remaining hope, but the health that is remaining right there, the difference in the game is the Astonish that I didn't get because I switched too late. So, a game that I really feel like the team could have won, but I just wasn't quite able to execute well enough to do so. All in all, as I mentioned at the start, Shadow Scizor, it's high risk, high reward. This is going to be a Pokemon that really heavily rewards good energy management. So if you're used to running glass cannons, trying to overfarm to the max, play to CMP ties, then this could be a really fun Pokemon to use. You can boost up with Trailblaze. You also have the chance at the 2-stage boost from Night Slash. Shadow Scizor, which is an absolute blast. The Bullet Punch damage, even not boosted though, like in that Shadow Drapion matchup, is just absurd. So it's very frail. It's going to be a difficult Pokemon to use, but it's also probably the most fun Pokemon that I've tried so far. And I really liked Dedenne. Dedenne being able to make itself quasi-invincible with the Parabolic Charge buffs is really cool. But my goodness, a +4 attack Shadow Scizor, it's a tough call, but I think it might be even slightly more fun than that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy watching content like this, please do consider leaving a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our channel members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is genuinely so appreciated. So thank you guys for watching. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.